Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the American Pakistan Foundation's 2025 Annual Board Dinner. It is a true pleasure to have you all with us tonight as we reflect on a year of meaningful progress and shared purpose. We're grateful to all of you here, our board members, partners, supporters, and distinguished guests for being a part of this special evening. Tonight is a celebration of the collective impact we've made over the past year and a look ahead to the work that still lies before us. From empowering young leaders to deepening US-Pakistan ties, APF's mission remains grounded in service, equity, and community. We have an inspiring program ahead, so thank you again for being with us. Without further ado, I would like to invite our board chair, Muhammad Nasir Qureshi, for his opening remarks.
Thank you very much, Maha. I've been under the weather for the last week, and I rarely do prepared remarks because they don't come from my heart. So bear with me if I speak longer than I should, but whatever I say should have a meaning for everyone in this room. As most of you know, American Pakistan Foundation was formed in 2009 with a lot of grandeur in the end. And it had its mission statement as empowering Pakistani Americans. Can you go back to the mission statement, Maha? Where's the mission statement? So yes, it's part of the mission statement, but it is to empower Pakistani American community. And as years evolved, around 2016, 2017, the board and the executive committee realized the best way to empower Pakistani American community is to empower the youth and the young professionals. And they started moving towards that. And I joined in 2018. I loved the mission, loved what they wanted to do. I was looking for an organization who believes in that, although I'd been president of UPNA, but that's not the mission. So the board and the executive committee helped me form what we saw at the Leadership Summit this afternoon. In 2019, we invited all of our young members in Houston and in a 1 day and a half meeting. The overriding message was, we don't think like you. You tell us what you want to do. We are here to support you and guide you. And of course, if you go outside our framework, we'll tell you to stop. And that resonated. And that expanded, but then COVID came and nothing could happen. We picked up where we left in last year, and all of these young people, somehow mostly females, because they are definitely doing a lot more in Pakistan and here today. And you'll see after I speak what we have done as an organization, or they have done as an organization. We were doing great things before. We were sending fellows to Pakistan for summer internships for 6 weeks. They were going to NRSP. They were going to the rural areas. They became, when they came back, ambassadors of Pakistan. These were mostly born and raised here. My dream is, and I think the executive committee and the board believes in it, otherwise I won't be the chair, that we should be able to, over the years, create a fraternity, an alumnus without an alum, based on the Pakistani youth. So that when my children were growing up, I looked at all of my friends, Indian, white, everyone, right? People who trained me, mostly Jewish, up and down New York. I found them spots. But why should they have to do the same thing? Now we have 1 million Pakistanis, 60% or somewhere near that. 60% of them are first and second generation Pakistanis. They are an amazing group of people, high achievers. We're still trying to attract all of them. They should be able to find a lawyer, banker, doctor, someone in public policy, and a lot of them are in public policy. We have our previous member, who is now director of the South Asia, I think if I'm correct, at Asia Society. They're all there. We have amazing lawyers sitting all over. They should be able to reach out to them and get the guidance and support they need. And for that, we have APF1, which is a signature mentorship program. We have now taken it down to, and you'll see that, emerging leaders, which are rising seniors and seniors. Inshallah, in an year or two, we'll take it down to first and second year college. And in 4 or 5 years, if you, as I said earlier, take the responsibility for it, believe in it, and want to create the alum, there's nothing stopping you. Nothing stopping all of my leadership council members here. But you have to believe in it. You have to be passionate about it. And all of this extremely accomplished, slightly older board members that are sitting here, they are all behind you. I want to recognize Council General, Honorable Amir Atasoy. We're grateful for him to be here. Of course, the Ambassador of Pakistan in DC. He is just driven from DC and going back tonight just for this. The new ambassador to United Nations, he was supposed to be here. I invited his wife too. Everyone's wife is invited. And he said, will there be other women there? Most places don't invite wives. So they were both going to come. And he's been called by the Secretary General. If he make it out in enough time, he'll still be here. We have some of our donors here. I would like to recognize Ijaz Ahmed, who's chair of APPAC. He has a youth program. They will be recognized later, but I do want to recognize Asar Kazim of United Wealth. He's always believed in, whenever I asked him, but we want to do something for Pakistan, he said, I want to do something for people here. So last year I called him and he wrote us a substantial check. And of course, that makes it simple. Assemblywoman Shama Heda. She's New Jersey state representative and deputy conference leader. She's also the first Muslim and first Pakistani on the New Jersey Assembly. First Pakistani woman, first Pakistani and first Pakistani woman, right?
I think we're selfish.
There you go, another round of applause for her. Thank you very much, everyone. And thank you so much for all of our esteemed guests and the media who is here. I called them and they came with an open heart. Asif Jamal, CEO of ARY, like Siddiqui, Riaz Babar, Mohsin Zahir, and Farooq, who's been here since, most of them have been here since early afternoon. And I'm getting tired. As you can see, I know all of your names very well. Let's have a wonderful evening. We have our main speaker. He is the president of the New York Bar Association, the most powerful bar in the country. And he'll be introduced later. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for Isaf to be here. I look forward to hearing all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Dutta, for your remarks. A very warm welcome to all of our institutions. Now we have a very short video all of our initiatives, programs, and the long-lasting impact that APF made in 2020. So that was a brief overview of the lasting impact APF made in 2024, and we look forward to making deeper impact in the coming years. At APF, our impact is only made possible by the dedication and generosity of our donors, who are the heart of everything that we do. I would like to take a moment to recognize Ayan, Gallagher, and Asghar Kazim for their generous support, whose commitment fuels the work that we do every day. Now, I would like to invite His Excellency Ambassador Rizwan Sheikh, Ambassador of the Pakistan to the US, for brief remarks.
Bismillah ar-Rahman Rahim. Dr. Nasser Qureshi, Dr. Ijaz, Madam Shama Haider, Ambassador Rafael. I've only covered maybe just part of the table in front of me, but all the ladies and gentlemen, and particularly the youth present here today, a very good evening and assalamu alaikum. As you have just heard that I have driven to New York from DC, just reached, was a bit late entering the city. I should have been here on time. But as I have been requested for brief remarks, I was intending to speak for about an hour. I'll reduce it to 58 minutes and everything will be all right. No, firstly, thank you, APF and your all board members for inviting me. Why I'm here is because this is one event that I wanted to attend. I was briefed by our worthy Consul General Amir Atazai present here that this is quite an accomplished organization and it has done a lot in terms of its activities since its establishment in 2009. And I distinctly recall that it was one organization which was established, in the first decade of this century. But I believe it had a lot to do with the US political leadership at that time as well. So it was not just an initiative purely from Pakistanis themselves, but it was a joint initiative by the Americans as well as Pakistani Americans to create this organization. And what a good theme that I understand it has and continues to have is empowering people. And even within that theme, I'll restrict my remarks to the theme, which is the sub-theme, or it is in the inset here, is empowering people or empowering Pakistani Americans through empowering youth. I think Pakistani Americans, we keep saying, hearing, observing, and experiencing that Pakistani Americans have certainly contributed a lot since, we have had people from our part of the world here since the beginning of our independent existence as a nation state, even before. But over the past 3-4 decades, Pakistani Americans have made it good and made it big and made it into a lot of success here in the United States. And as was mentioned by Dr. Nasser Qureshi, first and second generation Pakistani citizens, Pakistani Americans, who now have United States as their homeland, and of course Pakistan as their motherland in a world of homelands and motherlands, have done well. But as I remember distinctly, and I keep mentioning it, maybe I'm mentioning it for the first time to this crowd, but I distinctly recall that during my first tenure or first tour of duty here, from 2019 to 2015 to 2019, and Ambassador Rafael would certainly recall it, I saw for the first time a US election in 2016. And by the way, each time I'm around in a US election, President Trump wins. So maybe the next time they will invite me somehow, even if I'm not here or have completed my tenure. But I distinctly remember that in that election, Mr. Bernie Sanders, 200 years after his ancestry migrated from Poland to this great country, was being referred to in the electoral campaign as a Polish American. So Pakistani Americans will continue to be Pakistani Americans for generations. That's how you're registered in the US statistics. And Pakistan being the homeland, Pakistan being the motherland and this now being the homeland for generations, is going to be an important part of your identity. And what a good way to recognize that identity, to honor that identity, and to try and make sure that that identity persists, then perhaps doing what you are doing in trying to letting the youth lead and supporting them at the back and letting them do it their way. Because as we all have experienced as parents, that the ways of this generation are different from our ways. And perhaps rather than being a bit, sad about it, it's better to let them take charge of the world that essentially belongs to them from a futuristic standpoint and let them do it their way. Just let us give them the kind of support that they need. Because our generation might have had experiences which perhaps no other generation in history might have had. I mean, I belong to a part of Pakistan which is so backward that I have seen with my own eyes that when those dial telephones used to ring in our part of the world, the women would draw their veils before even hearing who it was because they thought it could be an unknown male on a stranger on the other side of the line. But then Pakistan, as you have mentioned, Dr. Nasser Qureshi, has come a long way. Our women are performing in a major, major fashion. And I see that there are a lot of young ladies here, young kids here, particularly from the female sex. So I know, and we all know, it only takes to have a regular glance at our newspapers. Each time the school boards, the intermediate boards, the college boards, the university results are out, you would see that in the top 10 positions, you would hardly find a male. So that's a fact. That's a fact of life in Pakistan. In today's Pakistan, that's a fact of life. And it is such an important fact of life that it is quite possible, based on all these results, and the job market certainly in any country only caters to the needs of qualified people and can only absorb the qualified ones. There is a distinct possibility of a social change that actually maybe 10, 15, 20 years down the line, roles would change to the extent that the males would have to do the babysitting and maybe, I mean, so that's a change which is fast coming to Pakistan, and it can be observed. I mean, I have media people sitting here in front of me at least, so they can also vouch for it because they deal with these news. But more important is that Pakistan today is a moderate Islamic society. Our population growth rate, not that we are particularly fond of it, 2.55%, guarantees that we will be the largest Muslim nation state on the planet by 2030, around 2030. And given this growth rate, I keep repeating that we are not fond of it. We would like to have it reduced. But still the fact remains that Pakistan would even beat United States in 2 decades time, and we will settle as the number 3rd most densely populated country in the world. And that is saying something. Of course, we want to compete others, but we do not want to compete India and China in population, so we'll hopefully settle there. That's the idea. But to drive the point home that at number 3 and 4, in about 2 decades time, Pakistan and United States would be 2 mega countries. And there is a lot of complementarity that is there between these 2 mega countries. I'll only list a few, and I'll list the ones that I want to list from starting from the futuristic standpoint. Pakistan may actually be the most youthful country or the youthful nation state in the world, with 65% of our population below the age of 30. That is huge. That is actually a singularly significant statistic that would continue to define the future, not only for us as a nation state, but for the broader world. And mind you, we are in a happening place in the world in terms of our geostrategic and geoeconomic significance, both separately, taken separately and put together. Only about 2 weeks back, our part of the world being a happening place was proven beyond a shade of doubt. So, there is a reignited, rekindled spirit of nationhood in Pakistan. And I'm sure that it has not only, I've seen that it has come to this part of the world, it has certainly come to United States. There have been celebrations, there has been euphemism in the length and breadth of this country, but I'm sure that it is present in this room as well. So let's utilize this spirit. The essence of Bunyanum Marsus, or an iron wall, is yet to be completed, because it would be actually impregnable. Our defense, our political, our economic interests would only be guaranteed if we reach that level of development, which is the true potential of Pakistan, and it is the youth of Pakistan that is going to make it happen. And it is us, in terms of the clearly laid out and being practiced objective of American Pakistani Foundation, that we will support you, but it is you who have to go and get it, certainly out there. And the singularly significant element there is that with this youthful configuration of population, Pakistan has a people, a futuristic, generation that would be citizens of the world. And the complementarity that I was talking about firstly exists in the sense that as we speak, being the 5th most densely populated country, our youth is 2nd, at times 3rd, only to United States itself when it comes to IT freelancing anywhere in the world. And that's a starting point. That's where the government has not helped as yet. And for about a year or 18 months, there is a conscious, deliberate effort of the government to create the necessary physical, legal, financial infrastructure that would help that endeavor. So, our youth is already doing it. We are, in terms of the practices that exist, in terms of what we are doing, cost competitive to the extent of 70% low cost when it comes to United States itself in IT. And in terms of other cost comparisons beyond this country and beyond perhaps the West in general, the European continent as well, we are 20 to 30% cheaper or cost competitive. Cheaper is not the right word. I shouldn't be using it as a diplomat. We are cost competitive compared to any of our competitors, you name it. When it comes to IT, Egypt, Turkey, Vietnam, India. I mean, they are certainly better branded. But if we could prove a point of our technical prowess in terms of a better branded, better acknowledged neighbor in the IT world, at 40,000 feet, we can definitely prove it on ground as well. So that is certainly something which is for the world to see, and for this country, with the help of organizations like Pakistani American Foundation, which is clearly keeping the youth ahead in its endeavors to benefit from, to chart out the future in a way that all those disciplines and domains, particularly which relate to the economic interaction, the enhancement of economic relationship between the two countries in the bilateral domain, gets to flourish in the months and years ahead. As the ambassador of Pakistan to the United States, if I have to name a single one-point agenda, it is conducting economic diplomacy, enhancing economic investment, trade links between our two countries. And there is no sort of hidden thing about it. For the past 3-4 years, Pakistan's foreign policy has clearly and pronouncedly changed its orientation from geopolitics to geoeconomics, focusing on the connectivity significance that our geography lends us. The same geography that lends us the geopolitical significance also lends us a geoeconomic salience that we now intend to draw the full benefit of. And again, organizations like Dr. Nasser Qureshi, you are leading, Dr. Ejaz also, you are leading. Perhaps should you already have it, you also already have it, but should accord it more significance in their agenda, and empower the Pakistani Americans, empower the youth, particularly segment in the Pakistani American citizenry, Pakistani American community, to ensure that not only that this community thrives, they actually ensure, underwrite, guarantee, make it possible ultimately to do it by mainstreaming themselves in the political and economic streams of United States, of this country. I think that should be essential. That is the most important thing. We as Pakistani American community have to mainstream ourselves. I saw all of your programs. Some had to do with the political side of it. There were webinars, seminars. I mean, too much to show for a year's work, certainly. But the important thought that I would want to perhaps not only leave you with, your organization with, your youth with, but offer on my behalf as ambassador of Pakistan to the United States, on behalf of the Consul General also sitting here, that we would be your partners in that endeavor. Let's mainstream Pakistani American community in economics, in politics in this country. Thank you so much.